never seen before. I am going to rise up and take the limit of my soul.
Hey family, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Living Your Life Without Limits, a show about motivation, inspiration, and elevation. My name is Shannon Jackson, also known as the People's Nurse, and today's episode is titled, Check on Your Emotional Wellness. Stay tuned.
Wake up everybody, let's elevate your mind. Live your life without limits, no more wasting time. Don't forget to stay focused while continuing to stay on the grind. Keep your vision real tight, then your future be bright until the finish line.
Once again, family, I'm so glad to have you with us today. Here's a quick rundown of today's show, brought to you by our core sponsor, Allies of Sobriety and Addiction Recovery. If you are struggling with an addiction, look no further. Allies of Sobriety and Addiction Recovery offer a variety of customized in-home programs tailored to meet your addiction needs. For more information, please contact them at the link beneath. Now it's time for Soul Fuel, which is the Word of God. And today's scripture reading is taken from Nehemiah, the 8th chapter and the 10th verse from the King James Version. And it says, Then he said unto them, Go your way, eat your fat, and drink your sweet, and send portions unto them in whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto the Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. So family, today we're talking about checking on your emotional wellness. Why is it important? Because how you feel affects your ability to function on an everyday basis. Activities, your connection in relationships, and your overall mental health. According to the National Institute of Health, emotional wellness is the ability to successfully handle life stresses and adapt to changes in difficult times. So to help us, I'm going to be talking about 6 strategies that we can apply to our life on a daily basis to help with our personal, emotional health and wellness. So the first one is having a positive outlook in life. Oftentimes people see everything in doom and gloom. And right now, with all the news cycles talking about all the devastations happening around the world and everything that's still going on with the pandemic, it's no wonder that people feel doom and gloom. But it's important for your own mental health to keep a positive outlook. Researchers have found a link between an upbeat mental state can have a tremendous impact on improving your overall health. Things such as lowering your blood pressure, reducing the risk of heart disease, having a healthier weight, improving your blood sugar levels, and even extending your life longer. So what am I saying? A positive outlook is critical to your emotional wellness. So it's important to stay positive. Here's another one. Reducing your stress. We all can do more of that. Everyone feels stress from time to time. The fact of the matter is, a little stress can help you and give you the energy you needed to accomplish tasks. However, you can't have stress last for long periods of time. because it can develop into a condition as known as chronic stress, which can cause harm to you emotionally and physically over time. So it's very important that we all learn healthy ways to cope with stress, and it will vary from each individual. Some of you taking a walk, some of you mindful meditation, some of you certain hobbies or exercise, some of you certain foods, various things. Whatever that might be, you want to incorporate healthy coping mechanisms into your life when you're facing very stressful times. Here's one that even myself have to admit, it's something I continue to work on, which is getting quality sleep. Sleep affects both our physical and mental health. It is critically vital to our overall well-being. Because guess what? When you are tired and ran down, you cannot function at your best. Have you ever felt like this where I'm just so tired. I don't know what's going on. I just don't have the energy. Well, probably 9 times out of 10, you didn't get some quality sleep. And also your reflexes are not as quick. You're not as sharp. You're not as focused. So it's important that we start taking steps to have regular quality sleep on a day-to-day basis. Here's one. Dealing with loss and grief. In our society today, many people find it very uncomfortable to have conversations about grief. But guess what? We have to acknowledge it and grieve our losses. I believe part of the problem is we tend to only associate grief and loss with an actual death of a loved one. But the fact of the matter is, every day people are struggling with loss and grief. Maybe it wasn't actually an individual or a pet, but maybe it was a loss of a job or relationship that you found near and dear. Maybe loss of direction and purpose. Loss of something that was valuable to you. So it's important that we do what? Acknowledge it. Say, hey, I'm grieving. Get the help and the support that we need so that we can start the healing process. Strengthening our social connections is another strategy. What was very clear during the peak of the pandemic, many studies showed how the lack of social interaction when we were all on lockdown played a negative impact on our individual mental and physical health. So it's very important that we go back to incorporating social bonding so that we can have that powerful effect on our health. And that bonding can include you in a relationship with a partner, having family gatherings, friends, connecting with neighbors or others. But having that social connections have a tremendous positive impact in your overall emotional health and well-being. That even though the pandemic is not fully resolved, it is important that you stay socially connected. Our final strategy deals with being mindful. The concept of mindfulness is very simple. It involves being present and aware of your thoughts, how you're feeling, what's going on in your body, your surroundings, and looking at it through a nurturing lens, your lens. You know, oftentimes when we interact with people, many times we got so much on our minds, we're not really present. We're not really there or engaged. So even in your interactions with individuals, you're not mindful. But it first starts with you practicing being mindful with yourself, being aware of self. Because if you are mindful, your thoughts are more controlled in being self-focused, non-judgmental of your awareness of what's happening. But guess what? It can help you become a better listener, an active listener. Understand your relationships better, both in your personal life and your professional career. So those are the 6 strategies that I'm talking about to help cultivate emotional wellness. And again, if you apply those into your life, it can also help you when challenges comes. Because there's an old saying that attitudes will affect your altitude and your ability to find happiness and peace. So if you are emotionally healthy, you will be able to cope with disappointments and setbacks that will come in life. Stay tuned for our next segment on Chat and Facts. We'll be right back after this commercial break. If you haven't noticed, people are struggling. In a moment where so many agree on so little, there's one thing we can all agree on: hope. Street love started as an idea, and it's growing into a movement. Hi, my name is Shannon Jackson, your resident host for Living Your Life Without Limits, also known as the People's Nurse. And I'm on a mission to spread love, city by city, street by street. Join our Indiegogo campaign. We are back, family, with our next segment called Chat and Facts, where you, the viewers and listening audience, can email us your question at info@livingyourlifewithoutlimits.com. Each week, we will select one of your questions and provide the answer online. And for your active participation, you will also be entered into our Living Your Life Without Limits monthly drawing with a chance to win a free gift. So today's chat comes from Phyllis from Carson, California. What are the signs to tell if someone is suffering from Alzheimer's disease? Well, Phyllis, the fact is Alzheimer's disease is an irreversible progressive brain disorder that slowly destroys the memory and thinking skills and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest tasks. Alzheimer's disease is also the most common cause of dementia for older adults. Some of the symptoms of mild Alzheimer's disease may go unnoticed to the person themselves and oftentimes from their family around them because they come on gradually. But here's what they look like: memory loss, poor judgment with dealing with decisions, a loss of spontaneity and a sense of initiative, taking longer to complete normal daily tasks, repeating questions, trouble handling money or paying bills, wandering or getting lost, losing things or misplacing them in odd places, mood and personality changes, often getting more anxious and aggressive in their communication and exchanges with loved ones. So those are just some of the common symptoms. Now, oftentimes, everyone don't experience all of them at the same time. But if you have anyone or yourself starting to struggle with these, what you want to do is contact your healthcare provider and get a complete evaluation and assessment for further diagnosis and determination. So stay with us after this commercial break. We're going for our final segment called Game On. we test your knowledge on TV trivia. And the question today is, if you needed the help of an undercover cop, what address would you go to? Take a listen to this clip.
Don't need permission to decide what you believe. You're gonna learn something when we meet you at school. Sit down.
And the answer is 21 Jump Street, that ran from 1987 to 1991. Once again, family, thank you for joining us today in this topic called checking on your emotional wellness. I hope it enlightened you, informed you, and encouraged you. For more information on Living Your Life Without Limits, please check out our website at livingyourlifewithoutlimits.com, where you can find helpful information on our free resource section, or a link to our podcasts and other activities and events that we're doing with Living Your Life Without Limits. So we're out of time this week. You're always on our hearts and minds. And remember, family, to love yourself. Take care of yourself, because guess what? You are absolutely worth it. Thank you once again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next week.